I'm Rob Long. I've been blind for 8 years. I've been a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu competitor for 1 year, and Jiu Jitsu is for everyone. Brazilian Jiu Jitsu and grappling is perfect for blind people. There's not a better sport suited to someone who's blind. I've done other para sports. I've done football, which involves having like a larger football and bells in it and stuff like that, and adaptive equipment and everything like that. And the beauty of Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is I need no adaptive equipment. I don't need anything catered to my disability. All I need is the mat, like everyone else, an opponent to fight against, and you know, it comes down to my skill level. I'm trained to do what everyone else is trained to do, and once I've got a hold of someone, there's not one move that they can do that I can't do on them, or one defence. It's absolutely ideal for blind people. From what I've seen of Brazilian Jiu Jitsu instructors, they talk their way through it for the class to understand the methodology and the sort of leverage ideas and what's behind the move anyway. So they're talking through it, so I have a basic concept of what's going on while they're talking through and using someone else as a demonstration victim. But then usually one of the instructors will come up to me and use me as a demonstration sort of dummy, as it were, show me the move and then let me get on with it. And then just like everyone else, I'm finding my weaknesses in the move, and I'm seeing where it works, where it doesn't work, how to perfect the technique, just like everyone else. And you know, I can feel the person's body in front of me. There's no real difference between what I'm doing and what everyone else is doing. Just sometimes I need that tiny little bit extra of the instructor coming up to me and telling me where I need to go, what body position I need to do. But as time progresses, the fundamentals of jiu-jitsu and leverage and stuff like that are more and more ingrained to me, so I need less and less help. So occasionally, if we're going over a move that's or a choke that's very similar to other stuff I've done, I can just get straight on with it, and maybe the guy who's watched it, who I'm demonstrating on, will you know, say, oh no, it's a bit like this or a bit like that, like here you need to change. But everyone goes through that anyway, so there's no real difference. That's why it's just such a perfect sport for someone with visual impairment. 8 years ago, I was on operations in Afghanistan. Just before first light, I went out on patrol one morning where an improvised explosive device was triggered, and it resulted in one of my friends being killed straight away. And I was close enough to the blast for my left eye to be blown out on the battlefield straight away. And then once I returned to the UK, it was deemed that my right eye was a complete write-off, so that had to be removed by doctors upon arrival back in the UK. So what you're seeing now, two glass eyes, they're two prosthetic eyes. There's, you know, I'm completely black blind, so it's just completely pitch black for me. I can't see anything. I can't see shadows, shapes, or anything at all. Even though like it looks like I've got eyes and I can track about, you know, it's just complete blackness. You know, I'd been doing martial arts for a couple of years before that, and obviously coming from a background where I was a frontline soldier, my job and my duty first and foremost was to go into situations where combat was. Well, I was in Helmand Province in 2010. Combat was an inevitability. I went from that to not being able to walk down the street on my own without holding someone, without, you know, I could barely make myself food at the start of it and like look after myself. I've gone through that rehabilitation process to be able to look after myself and everything like that, and now I'm getting back out into the world, and I've come here, and there's a whole another sort of step to sort of where I am and how I'm progressing as a sort of man, and how I'm progressing as a human being. So yeah, I've come from that combat scenario, having that being my life goal, having that being, you know, where I'm solid and where I'm grounded and what I want to do and what I want to do with my life, to being crippled, basically. Another way of putting it, I was disabled, and I didn't know if I was ever going to be able to sort of compete at a high level sort of martial arts or anything like that. And I started out doing a bit of kickboxing and getting my fitness levels up like that, but I found grappling through Andy Roberts and and Seamus Kelly of the British Army Brazilian Jiu Jitsu team. Andy Roberts is one of Roger Gracie's black belts, and he introduced me to Roger Gracie in the Roger Gracie Academy. And since then, I've done able-bodied competitions. So I won gold at the British Army Brazilian Jiu Jitsu Championship in 2017. That was my first competition. I held that gold the next year. I held that gold earlier on, this year, my second able-bodied Brazilian Jiu Jitsu competition. So I was doing well in the able-bodied comps, and then I heard about the Abu Dhabi Para Jiu Jitsu competition. I entered the British Grand Slam, where again I won gold in my category, which got me my invitational to the World Para Jiu Jitsu Championships. I hadn't really done too much independently without like coaches being there and everything like that, but it was an opportunity I couldn't really let go, and so I got the flights. Me and my partner, we went over there, and again I took gold at the World Para Jiu Jitsu competition, and you know, it's such an amazingly proud moment for me. I set a goal. I trained as hard as I could to achieve that goal, and I won. And it was one of the sort of proudest moments of my life up until that point. And then I come back, and I'm doing my one of my training sessions, and Mauricio Gomes at the end of the session starts speaking about someone who he says has worked very hard, you know, achieved an awful lot, and it's like it'd be an honour to, you know, or it'd be great to give this guy his blue belt. And then he called me up, and then, you know, the competitions were fantastic. Competitions would come and go during my lifetime, but getting on board with my blue belt by Mauricio Gomes definitely takes it all. That's one of my proudest achievements. I know he didn't give it to me because I'm a blind jiu-jitsu person. He gave it to me because of my jiu-jitsu level. Like, he gives it to everyone because of their jiu-jitsu level, and it was really sort of life affirming. I can't really describe how proud it made me, that moment. Guys, some of you might have read like stuff I wrote about how adaptive BJJ is for blind people, but that's only 50% of the story. Like, without you guys rolling with me and you know, treating me like any other participant, I wouldn't be able to get to this stage. And it's testament to what I did out in Abu Dhabi, like to what you guys have done for me. I just like to say thanks to every single one of you who rolled with me, and you know, not rolled with me as a blind person, just rolled with me as a BJJ player. I'd like to say, you know, massive thank you to you guys. Everything it's done for me, I know it can do for other people. When going to the World Para Jiu Jitsu Championships, there was people with all sorts of disabilities. So there's people with limb loss injuries. There was people with congenital diseases that they'd been born with. There were people with, you know, brain damage and mental health issues, and it gave each and every one of them something really, really special. It's such an adaptive sport, and the thing about the jiu-jitsu community is we support each other. No matter if, you know, I can support people who are able-bodied who may have, you know, struggles and stuff like that. I can give back to the community. Those people who are disabled can give back to the community, but we just need them to get their foot in the door and realise that they can do it. You know, realise that, you know, we're here to support you, and we're here to support each other, and you can also, once you get part of this community, you can give back and you know, be part of the family. And it's an amazing family to be a part of. You know, you won't go wrong being here and give it a go. And I don't know anyone who hasn't, you know, really lifted their attitude. You know, I wake up in the mornings and I'm tired and I'm aching from training for 3 or 4 days, and I think, oh man, I can't do it today. I'm knackered. And then I get down here and I think, oh, I don't want to be like, you know, grappling with someone who's going to be trying to like arm lock me and choke me and stuff like that. And again, and no one takes the mick. You know, they'll push you to your limits, and you can tap out at any time you want, and then carry on rolling and stuff like that. And every single time I woke up and felt like I shouldn't go today, after the session, I'm like, oh my god, what was I thinking this morning? Where was my head at? This is, you know, I wouldn't have given this opportunity up. And you know, I come out feeling like I just want to do this every day. I'll do it every day that my body's not broken. It's a journey that I'm going to be going through for the rest of my life. I mean, there's no cure or no chance of me or anything on the horizon of me getting my sight back. So it's something I kind of have to, roll with punches and deal with it. And there's no options other than to get on with it. And things like Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, or Brazilian Jiu Jitsu especially, is such a life affirming and quality of life improving piece of the puzzle for me. I mean, it's part of my rehabilitation in terms of getting my confidence up and keeping my fitness levels up and keeping me motivated. But there's a whole other side to socialisation, which I've been missing out on really for the first 7 years of my sight loss. Coming here, coming to Roger Gracie Academy, as soon as you walk into the reception area, the place is alive. You don't have to see it, but like, it's so vibrant, and you've got people like Mauricio Gomes. When he's here, it's like, the whole place is lit up and he's so welcoming. That whole sort of Brazilian ethos of happiness and like welcoming and comfort is there as soon as you walk through the door. Everyone's got the banter, everyone's joining in with each other. You get changed, there's a locker room chat, and then you get on the mat, you step on the mat, and it's time for work. It's serious, it's relaxed, but it's serious, and it's so professional, and it's almost impossible to describe what it's done for me, but it's changed me over the last year. I've had one of the most rapid changes in sort of who I am, my confidence levels, my fitness levels, and my ability to sort of integrate with people has rapidly just taken an upturn.